First, I'd like to start by saying all praise to Yahweh by Shema Shai, by Shema Karkadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. As you can see, this is on MSNBC. Generation Z and millennials aren't putting up with any of this BS and saying their votes don't matter, and that's actually the truth. A lot of these clippings that you see on the news about people voting and these numbers is off the charts and stuff of that nature. A lot of that is a lie. Well, actually, it all more than likely is a lie. Because one, the whole setup. When I put the clip, you're gonna see the woman in the red dress, which is always the distraction. Two, they be having these news people in cahoots as actors because everybody waking up to the truth. A lot of people not following the truth, but everybody waking up to this white man and his system and how it's especially the blacks, and Native Americans, how it's totally against them. Even white, their own is waking up again, up and fighting against them. That's why there's so much tension and uprising of the people in this world. But you still do have the simps, the simple people that vote and whatnot, and but even then, still, the voting doesn't count. The elites elect who are those that's going to be picked for president. And if I'm not mistaken, I was just reading something on the Roman Republic. Yeah, Rogers, I'll be able to put the lesson up tomorrow. But the Roman Republic in this voting system, those that were like up under the president, like the governors and senators and stuff like that, they overshadowed the people to where it didn't even matter if the people voted. But Esau run his system somewhat the same, but I'm getting to the specifics at another time. But I'm going to play this clip and then get some precepts. Man. Don't tell me Satan fucking with the computer. Salakia. Give me a second. Salakia, Akia.
Early voter turnout that we haven't seen since 1992. And this is partly frustration, especially against the Trump administration, but I've got to tip my hat to the grassroots organizations that have been humping it for the past decade here in Texas and other swing states like Georgia. So this isn't coming out of thin air. This is coming out of amazing organizational efforts that are pushing folks to the poll and giving them the tools that they need.
Ben, nothing gives me quite the thrill that you slipping into my DMs and telling me you have new polling does. Your polling finds that Biden is leading with young voters and undecideds are leaning toward him too. So who are these undecideds, right? Who are these undecideds 9 days out, and how does the Biden campaign nudge them over to their camp?
Totally. Well, luckily there's very few of them amongst young people, and we are seeing young people break hard for Joe Biden in numbers that honestly we haven't seen since Barack Obama in 2008. And it was interesting when you were talking to Steve Kornacki just a few minutes ago, you talked a lot about how young people in Florida are doing. Well, we're seeing them double their margin of support that they had for Hillary Clinton 4 years ago. They are breaking by 37 points for Joe Biden in Florida. And we're seeing that play out in Texas and Georgia and Arizona.
Wait, Ben, slow down. That is a huge differential. To what do you attribute that difference in support?
Donald Trump and Joe Biden actually having a pretty progressive policy platform, and the fact that Gen Z and millennials aren't putting up with any of this BS and saying their votes don't matter. I think the other side wants to tamp down this enthusiasm, say, however you vote, nothing's going to change. And they're saying that's not true. Just like we saw AOC say earlier this weekend, she said, we're picking who we get to lobby to make progress on the issues. And so these last undecideds at the end of the election election, these people who are on the fence about whether to vote or not, frankly, and they are starting to see all their friends come out and vote, and they're like, holy smokes, maybe I should get in on this. It's the popular thing to do, and that's what all these grassroots groups are going to do over the course of the next 9 days. Say, all your friends are voting, come down, do it with us, we'll make it fun, easy, and popular.
Right, the FOMO effect. I mean, Sarah, there is so much happening in the final days of this campaign. It sort of is unbelievable when you think about both the spread of COVID across this country, how real that is to so many people, even inside of the vice president's inner circle. When you think about the fact that the Senate is set to vote on the confirmation of a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court, your polling found that young voters broadly support expanding the court in the wake of Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation. I mean, is that another point the Biden campaign should use to energize young voters?
Absolutely, Alicia. I mean, at this point, young people know so much about what's at stake with this election, but they also have a very clear eye of what they're fighting for. So when we talk about the Supreme Court, of course, it's about the ability to access healthcare, to control our bodies, the rights that our community members have. That is what is at stake. And if Republicans are going to basically steal the court away from us, then absolutely young people are there to say, we're not having it. We have a very progressive agenda that we're fighting for, that's about treating all of us with respect and dignity and humanity, and that is what is at stake. That is what the Biden campaign should be talking about, in addition to reaching out to about 25% of young people whose votes he could very well have that have not heard from the Biden campaign yet. So there's a ton of work to be done in these last 9 days, but we're very hopeful as we get closer.
All right.
If there is an election, then there are yard signs, bumper stickers, and always lots of hand-wringing over whether or not young people will vote. This despite the fact that young Americans are at the forefront of the fights for climate change, for racial justice, and, literally marching for their lives. And despite the fact that voting is a habit and it's not designed to be easy and it's incredibly analog for a digital generation. Well, wring those hands as much as you want. Despite what we know about young voters being late deciders, they are turning out to vote early at more than 6 times the rate they did in 2016. In all, almost 5 million Americans between the ages of 18 and 29 have already dropped a ballot. Out of that early voting block, over a quarter are first-time voters. Hello, TikTokers, we have been waiting for you. In Florida alone, more than 400,000 voters aged 18 to 29 have dropped a ballot. Nearly 23% were young Latino voters. Over the past 4 years, as we've seen norm after norm broken in this country, we have asked ourselves, what does this mean for our future? Well, we might be getting our answer, seeing what's happening to our political landscape from deep divisions to deep ineptitude may prove enough to take that massive enthusiasm we see at rallies to the ballot box in just 9 days' time. Now could be the moment that young Americans vote to change their own future, doing what former President Obama famously requested for years. Don't boo, vote. And that's all but lost on the grassroots groups doing door-to-door, even in the reddest of states, to get young folks to the polls.
Everybody can't sit back and don't do nothing. You have to do something. And when it's time to do something, we have to do it.
The elders have put up a good fight, and it's time for the youth to carry the light. It's our time to help out now.
So to say it lightly, the kids, they're more than all right. If they're...
Damn, Slakia. All right, so ultimately these votes don't count. They at least ultimately pick who is going to be elected. And a lot of Jake them be knowing that, and they don't vote. A lot of them be knowing it, and they still go vote, being followers, peer pressure, this witchcraft that's on TV. But like the scriptures say, it's going to lead to their destruction, whether Trump win or Biden, it doesn't matter. Because prophecies still have to be fulfilled. So This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover what they're covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So when you go vote, you are being rebellious to Yahweh Shema Shai, because our laws, statutes, commandments govern us. 1, 2, we're not supposed to put nobody up over us that ain't of our nation. 3, we at the time of the end. We at the time of war, and the plucking up of this place. And the Lord is bringing it down right in front of everybody's face. But Jacob, they add sin unto sin because they still want to be a part of the society. They still want to. The whole key reason why they vote is because they want to pick the best person that's going to be suitable and it's going to help them in their lives with taxes, money, aid, stuff of that nature. So they go into this devil like he's a god. So they trusting in this devil like he's a god, man. It says that walk to go down into Egypt, because Egypt is America, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt, right? So they trusting in America, and they trusting in the next president to strengthen themselves, man, instead of coming to Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion, right? Because ultimately, all this is a joke. It's all made up. And ultimately, the end goal is to kill off a lot of you Israelites to bring in this new world order. But there's a goal that's higher than that, which is Yahweh Shema Shai's goal, to kill off 2/3 of Israel by way of these prophecies, to bring in the kingdom of heaven and put this devil, this white man, which is the deceiver of the whole world, which is why everybody falling into this trap, to put them in slavery and kill a lot of them off too. And then after they serve their slavery, it's for them to be destroyed, So that's the real agenda. And Jacob don't understand that, man. And they don't want to understand that, man. So Egypt, trusting in Pharaoh, is going to be to their shame, man. This is Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy. And we all know, and everybody waking up to that these white people are our enemies, man. But Jacob still want to vote for him. For like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness, right? Though he humble himself and go crouching, all them speeches that they giving, and that they for blacks and stuff, and take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Right, because ultimately he got an agenda, and his agenda is to bring help these elites bring in the new world order, so they can slaughter the Israelites, man, because they want to get done with, they want to do away with Israel, man. So this is verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And throughout, that's the problem with Jacob. They don't understand history, or they don't know the significance of understanding history. They're not connecting it. A lot of history they understand, but they're not putting it together. Like, look, this devil is your enemy, no matter who you vote for. No matter what you do, they always going to be persecuting you. So the best thing that they can do is try to come back to Yahweh Shema Shai for deliverance. It says, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Right, because they're going to remember when they all hell break loose on their ass. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts, right? So, if you go, the charmer's supposed to be charming snakes and whatnot, and then he get bit and whatnot, who gonna have pity on that man, because he actually did it. he actually put himself in that situation to be bitten, you know, or such as come nigh wild beasts. We be seeing when these lions be attacking these crackers. These devils be out there hunting these lions and thinking that. I just watched a clip earlier today. This white woman, I guess she killed a lion because she had the pistol in her hand. She had the rifle in her hand, and she was trying to take a picture with the lion. But another lion bigger than that lion came out of nowhere, or the same size as that lion came out of nowhere and tried to pounce her ass. And all you hear was 2 shots, and the lion eventually just walked off. So you can't pity people that's putting themselves in that position to fall, so to speak, you know, because it's their fault. It says so one that goeth one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in the sins who will pity. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the point. This Hosea chapter 4 verse 6, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Saying thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. So, you know, that's a curse unto Israel for not having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, or having it and not using it, you know. So with that being said, call Allah, Yahweh Shema Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.